You need to...
He's become a very offensive weapon for the Sydney Swans, indeed himself, in this season. Now, we know that Jono, Dwayne Russell, one of our callers, has gone off on an assignment. He's headed over to some little athletics meet on the other side of the world. But what that does is creates opportunities, and we've called in two of the rising stars of this caper to join us tonight, Tristan Fernanda and Nathan Thompson. Welcome aboard, boys.
Evening, Lynchy. Great to be here. Very much looking forward to being a part of things. Some promising signs from the Gold Coast Suns in recent weeks, but no doubt an uphill battle tonight against the high-flying Sydney Swans.
Facing the Swans, Lynchy, yeah, great to be a part of the team. A couple of power forwards like yourself and Jono. Good to be rubbing shoulders with you. But the Sydney Swans, they are amazing. The live ladder at the moment, have a look at that. Sydney Swans sitting second. They've got 6 rookies in the team. Just a wonderful recruiting effort by the Swans.
It has been an amazing recruiting era for the Sydney Swans. Over the last 3 years, they've been able to bring in some quality players, and mostly it's come through that 2009 draft. Some really important trades, and certainly their recruiting in their draft was very good, but their trades of the likes of Mumford was the key one, and McGlynn was another one, and who was the other one? Kennedy was the big one. So they've been a super team.
But you look on the back of the recruitment of Mumford has then allowed the development of Kennedy and the other midfielders throughout the Sydney Swans with Jack and McVeigh. They've just grown on the back of a quality ruckman.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be a really interesting one. Obviously, Mike Pike, we've spoken about his role tonight to take that #1 ruck role. I think he's really developed in this last 12 games, really, so he can go forward and take a mark, and that's critical. If you're going to play as a second ruckman, you need to have the ability to go into the midfield, and here's Adam Goods. He's a star as well, and 5 games under his belt, back and fully fit.
All right, so nearly ready for action. There's Lewis Jetta. What a season he's having so far in All-Australian contention. Umpire win with the football. Away we go on the Gold Coast. First tap out there for Pike. Hanbury under pressure, couldn't get the arm clear. Jack also good tackling early from the Gold Coast. Lots of players around the football, and the umpire will call for a secondary bounce.
And we know there's massive players. Sydney Swans traditionally like to get good numbers in tight here, and certainly stop the Suns from running out into space.
Interesting battle in the ruck. Smith, once again it was Pike. He's one of those traded players. Kennedy couldn't get his hands on the football.
Well, so Kennedy's going to love that matchup with Carmichael Hunt at the moment, trying to go to him at stoppages. There's that strength in there, but Kennedy's experience in this area is going to give first use to the outside run for the Swans.
Pike once again, first 3 tap-outs of the game. Hunt in there, going hard. Here's a chance for first clean possession. Bolton, quick kick forward, long toward Reed. Couldn't take the mark. Here's Goods. Little tap-out in front. Great play back there from Hine, but he's turned it over. LRT, Lewis Roberts-Thompson gets the job done for the first goal of the game.
Yeah, nice start from the Swans, and as they do so well, they punish turnovers, and it was just a little fumble as the ball goes into the forward 50 for the first forward 50 entry of the game. The drop mark from young Maverick Weller, but here's the critical turnover, just from young Hine, just an errant handball to LRT, and you don't have to give the Sydney Swans players too much of a chance, and certainly LRT capitalised on that opportunity and slotted it through for the first goal of the game.
First blood tonight to the Sydney Swans. Lewis Roberts-Thompson off to a promising start this evening. Pike and Smith, give that one to Pike. Ablett, the extractor. High ball inside 50, wants a flyer. Grundy the fist in there. Roved well by Smith. He was dispossessed. So too Swallow. Chance now perhaps for Brennan. Tried to gather. Harassed there by Alex Johnson's ball seen out of play.
Good first contest by Charlie Dixon. Up strong in the contest. They just need to get some crumbers at the fall of the ball to capitalise on his work.
Good tap there, Dixon out the back. Quick hands Jetta. Swans move it forward. Chance for Lewis Roberts-Thompson after May lost his feet. They might be away here. Chance to build through McGlynn.
The run from Goods.
He's run into space, can run onto this loose footy. Back for the Gold Coast, Stanley. Goods. Well done with the body. Maverick Weller, quick hands to Hunt. Now Russell and the Suns come away.
They will. Warnock just brings it through the 50, but good pressure by the Swans. Here's Russell. Runs through the backward of the wing. Kick, okay on the bounce. Dixon can pick up the football and use it well. Members side to Brown, one way, now under pressure. Inside 50, he's found his man. He's found his man, all right. Gary Ablett takes the mark and can go back on goal for the Suns first.
Well, Gary Ablett's one of those players, just draws the ball. I'm not sure whether the ball was directed straight to him, but it just started to swing to the right and dropped into his hands. He's a magnificent player and finds that space. Really good build-up from the Gold Coast Suns off half-back.
Well, he spoke to Lee Colbert about bringing the right boots to the game. Gary Ablett, the superstar that he is, from the angle, pops it through the middle.
Well, Gary Ablett straight into the game with a goal, and that's the start that the Gold Coast Suns needed. Last week they kicked 0-5 in the first quarter. First shot at goal tonight goes straight through the middle, and you see there it was the work off half-back. One take grab from the big fella in Charlie Dixon was very impressive, and then the use by foot to hit Campbell Brown, who then got the ball on very, very quickly, and Gary Ablett with a very good conversion.
So we're tied up in the early stages of this one. Gary Ablett boys talking about the importance of contested possessions tonight. No doubt Zach Smith vitally important for the Suns.
Yeah, he will be important, and a different setup with Charlie Dixon going forward this week. He's played down back the last few weeks for the Suns.
Matner wrapped up, got hands free. Good work in tight by Hine. Out to the nugget Prestia. Kicks out of the path of Swallow, who can retreat. Does so by hand. Chance for Weller. Nice set up by the Swans. Caddy forced to go backwards. Warnock. Patient play by the Suns.
Yeah, the crowd are a little bit frustrated by the fact that they've pushed back, but as you said, really good structures from the Swans to put pressure on the Suns' ball carrier, but they did it really well. They didn't panic and turn the ball over.
Stanley high ball. Big fly Matner. Ball at the back, overrun by Parker. Brennan, the quick kick inside 50. Richards leads the race. Tries to control, didn't do so. Could have received a free kick. Eventually out the back, Matera. Wobbly one inside 50. Swans resolute though. They can clear through Shaw.
One of those traded players, Reece Shaw from the Pies, long down the line. Warnock got a hand on the football. There's Dennis Lane. Off to another traded player, Kennedy. Kicks out in front of O'Keefe, just outside the 50. Quick handball to Reed. Here's Dennis Lane. Tight in the pocket, centering football to McVeigh, running on. Can he gather the loose ball? One grab, gets his hand to it. Good pressure on the outer side there from the 100 gamer in Harbrow. Sees it over for the boundary throw-in.
Yeah, good to see Harbrow back in that back half. Plays deep defence really well, gives a lot of run and drive, but that sort of experience, not to overcommit, and certainly rush the ball over the line with the pressure.
Here's Harbrow again from the boundary throw-in to Ablett. Short kick outside 50 is good. Big Charlie Dixon leads up and takes the mark on the chest.
Yeah, good, the big centre forward, pushing right up the ground.
Played in defence the past few weeks. Had a dicey kick. Here's Warnock. 50-50 ball, Bolton and Weller. Chance for Russell to escort that one over the boundary line.
Had a good chat, boys, to Guy McKenna about Charlie Dixon playing forward, and he mentioned Stephen May as a free kick's being paid, but Stephen May, they want him to play full back and give him a real go there.
Lee Colbert boundary side as Russell's forced to kick over his mark.
And we saw last year when Charlie Dixon first came into the side, he was the probably starting full forward for the Gold Coast Suns. Struggled taking the one grabbers, realised he was half blind and got the contact lenses in, and he's found it a little bit easier, would you believe? So he's actually doing quite well now, he can see.
It's pretty important, Lynch, I would have thought.
It's a reasonably important.
Yeah. Positive start by the home side. Still looking to record their first win here at Metricon Stadium. As Russell hugs the line through the hands of Richards. Grundy shares it with Smith. Back to Grundy, back to Smith. Nice pressure there by the Gold Coast Suns.
Well, you mentioned the pressure already, 9 tackles to 4, which you see on screen. That's just pure intent. Come to play, put the pressure on as your starting point and build from that as a side.
So boundary throw-in, half forward for the Suns. Hunt through, tough. Just couldn't quite get the clean handball out. Hanbury, once again, pressure is good.
Yeah, good work, as you said, Jono. The pressure is right up there at the moment. They're getting plenty of numbers to each contest and just not allowing the Swans at this stage to break the tackles. Now, they've got to sustain that for the whole game, but off to a very good start.
No clear hit out there. Prestia, quick kick inside 50. Contest there. Good spoil from Malcheski. Back outside 50. Dennis Lane and also Shaw go at it. On the outer side now, Grundy, foot race, kicks it off the ground, it's okay. Out in front of Adam Goods, does a bit of fancy handwork on the other side, tried to tap it to his own advantage, couldn't do so under pressure. We'll have another boundary throw in.
Smart play by Grundy, just knew that Brennan had the leg speed, so just took the line of the ball and was able to block and then get some good ball going forward. But Gold Coast setting up man on man in the forward line, so they know they're going to have a lot of quick kicks out of stoppages, so at least they got that one-on-one contest.
Pike's important for the Swans tonight. Won it down. Stolen though, here's Bennell. Not his best effort, out of bounds on the full. Swans to reload.
Yeah, certainly every forward or every defender for the Sydney Swans has got a Suns opponent as a forward, but they've got the extra number at the contest, the Swans. McKenzie at the moment is playing the loose man defence for the Suns.
Malcheski usually uses it well, this no exception. Kennedy off to McGlynn. Alex Johnson. Kennedy under pressure, wrapped up, good tackle Brown. Chance for Matner. Have to keep a cool head. Dennis Lane did well to evade Shaw. Just chips it up to attacking 50. Well read by McKenzie. And he can reload.
Well, reload he does, known as the cannon because of that big left foot, but that wasn't one of his best. They're going to get away, are they? Hunt just arches the back a touch. Handball, no. Goods. Which way will he go? Over the top to McGlynn. Running on. Handball just missed the target. Wasn't quite good enough from Adam Goods there. And will they get out of trouble? Well, they do in the end. They got away without the goal. It'll be a boundary throw in right forward pocket for the Swans.
Well, their ability to find the ball and get that first use, they're breaking away. It's just the disposal. A couple of times Sydney got their first goal on the back of a turnover. They've just got to be careful with their disposal, the Gold Coast.
Lots of players around the football there. Caddy, a lot of Melbourne clubs eyeing off that young man. Under pressure, here's Bennell again. Quick kick forward. Players there, Reed, umpire calling play on. Chance over the back. R18, can he get the ball up? No, he can't.
Ooh,
the big man just fumbled at the crucial stage.
He couldn't find the handle of it, big LRT.
Oh, I think he got a bit excited.
Eyes lit up. There's a goal on the offering here, and the big fella just butchered it.
Bit of an arm wrestle, boys, at present.
Well, it is, and but as you've both called, there's been a couple of fumbles from the Suns, and they've dodged the bullet so far. I suggest if they continue with these deep mistakes, they'll be punished here shortly.
Stephen May back into the side tonight. Boy from the Northern Territory, played his school footy with Melbourne Grammar School. Good kick, found Warnock. Has to go long and high down the line. Dixon outnumbered. Good fist in there by Smith. Spoils it away over the boundary line.
Yeah, he was outnumbered 3-1, and looks like there's a few injured Swans just jogging away. Is that Malcheski? Just jogging away from the contest, a little bit sore, but at least he wasn't outmarked or give a free kick away. So that's really important for the big forwards. Make a contest, even if you're not marking the ball yourself.
Well, a lot of Swans fans would hold their breath with Nick Malcheski. Of course, 3 knee reconstructions already in his footballing career. Quick kick forward there has been marked by Teddy Richards, sliding into that one.
Well, he plays in front, Teddy Richards, by about 10 metres. He does it every single week, and the opposition allow him to do it. He's taken more intercept marks than any other player in the competition for that reason. As the forward, start up on him, use him as your starting point, even if he pushes you up the ground.
Yeah, he knows where the ball's going to drop, so probably a good starting point for a young forward.
Kicked long by Jack. Reed with the jump. Couldn't take the mark. Ablett just in the right spot, right time. Players down behind.
Sam Reed's down.
So Reed down. Long kick. Gee, that's a strong mark there. Lynch. Just the 4 goals this year, Lynch, but he's got a beautiful set of hands for taking a mark. Kick is okay to Brennan.
Actually, I don't think Sam Reed's real good.
So Brennan now playing on. Off to Harbrow. A bit of speed through the middle. Kick is long. Dixon in the right spot. 1-2. Couldn't take it. Oh, the big guy had a chance. Missed it. Now Nick Smith can relieve for the Swans from the back line.
Tries to kick out in front of Lewis Roberts-Thompson. He traps it around the corner.
Yeah, it looks like Sam Reed's going to come off with what appears to be a right ankle or knee, but certainly that right leg is where the issue lies.
Some early injury worries for the Sydney Swans.
Here's the contest, comes down. It's hard to tell there, but he's probably landed on someone else's foot and rolled the right ankle.
And the Gold Coast player, by the looks of it's then rolled on the back of his leg as well, putting more pressure on it.
Harbrow in game 100. Turns on his preferred left foot. He's up to half forward. Stuart Wen, the umpire on the scene. Umpires tonight, Craig Fleer, Matthew Lepard and Stuart Wen. As that kick went inside 50 and Brown received a push.
Yeah, just a hand on the back, so that's really good for Campbell Brown. Strong lead into that space, as we see Sam Reid just limp to the dugout, and he'll be assessed by the club doctor. An important moment in the build-up for finals football, a month away as well with Sam Reid.
13 goals so far in season 2012 for Brown. This is a tough one, but he strikes it well across the face and seen through for one behind.
Well, the last 5 minutes, Gold Coast are taking control of this game. They're getting their run and drive going off half-back. They're getting plenty of possessions. As we have a look at the injury again to Reid.
Well, actually, it does look like when Caddy's come down on him here, as you said, the secondary issue on the outside of that right knee. So the knee's collapsed inwards, and that's what's been assessed at the moment.
Well, with 25 goals this year for the Swans, and them certainly top of the table in contention, not a great sign. On the outer side, he's a very good young player, Swallow. Long kick toward Dixon again. Outnumbered on that occasion. Under pressure, the Suns. Upended there was Harbrow. Good tough stuff from Kieran Jack. He's O'Keefe. LRT once again, just a touch of the fumbles. At a crucial stage, players pile on top. O'Keefe wants it free here.
Let it go.
He's the only one with the football, but he's going to get it.
Yes. And might have been Caddy who was down there. Couldn't get his hand on the ball. He ended up got paid holding against.
O'Keefe, long kick forward. Johnson didn't feel the pressure. Tried to play on. Here's Brennan. Goods has got him. Players wanting a free kick again. Not this time.
Just a little bit of congestion as we see the technique of the modern player, as Adam Goods did. Just held the ball under the pack and into the Gold Coast Suns opponent. But the umpires have relaxed that rule a little over the last month.
On a positive note, boys, Nick Malcheski's about to come back on. Sam Reid, though, is still in the hands of the Docs.
All right, here's Russell. Under pressure, nowhere to go. Gets it off Weller. He's gone as well. So the Swans just starting to lift their intensity here. O'Keefe releases the handball sideways. Dennis Lane, lovely kick. Bolton, has he got it? He has.
Well, they caused a turnover then, the Sydney Swans. Russell broke the lines, but they had he had five players to contend with in white jumpers on front on. So he turned the ball over with a quick disposal, and this is the result. The ball in the hands of Jude Bolton.
Not many supporters would have thought it would be all tied up after 15 minutes. Well, it is. Chance for Bolton. Does he sneak it in to the right-hand side? He has. He likes it.
Well, that was probably the fourth turnover that the Suns have actually done in their back half. On that occasion, they were punished. So there was the turnover. And look, the Luke Russell, he took on the tackler, tried to get through. I don't think it's something that Bluey McKenna will be too disturbed about. I mean, you like to get your young players to back themselves. And if you're going to make a mistake, might as well make it a good one. And at least you're taking the game on. So, yeah, bad turnover in the end, but cost a goal. There's Sam Reid just assessing that right knee now.
So Swans by a goal. Haven't had it their own way in the early stages of this one, as we see Sam Reid, who looks to be moving more freely. Maybe a return imminent. Dixon in the ruck now for the Suns. O'Keefe fell to ground. Chance for McVeigh. Swamped by Harbrow. Ball up to half forward for the Suns. Shaw couldn't gather. Swallow set upon by a couple Sydney players. Matten there. So too Smith, and we'll see a ball up 40 out from the Suns' goal.
They won't mind this, the Gold Coast Suns. They're leading clearances at the moment as well, 8-4. So taking control in the ruck. Obviously Sydney with no Mumford playing tonight.
Again, a number of players around the football. Swallow No room to move.
Carmichael Hunt came flying through there like Superman. I don't know where he came from, but he certainly hit the contest with a bit of pace. But as you said, they've been very good at this facet of the game so far. They dominated clearances last week against the Brisbane Lions, and they should have capitalised on more occasions than they did, but certainly a really strong facet of the game over the last month.
Dixon tried to palm it out into the path of Ablett. All class, off to Bennell. Flick over the top when looking for Prestia. Couldn't quite keep the ball inside the field of play.
Well, that was the strength of the Gold Coast all last year, was their clearances. They're certainly putting a bit of pressure on this man to make some changes in that area of the ground in the early part of this game. The coach of Sydney, John Longmire.
Here's O'Keefe. Squeezed it out the back. Back on the ground. Made it someone else's problem. To the cannon. That not his best effort off the side of his boot. A rare kicking error and out of bounds. Ball to be thrown in.
I don't think he hasn't kicked as well this year than he did last year. I mean, magnificent, and that's a three-quarter swing from him from 50 metres, but near missed the boot.
Boundary throw-in, still in the offensive zone. Prestia trying to get the football out to a teammate. Big Charlie Dixon.
Every player on the ground in that forward half for the Gold Coast Suns, and most of the Sydney Swans players actually in that defensive 50.
6-point lead for the Swans. Dixon won it down, but Kennedy got it out. Ball now finds its way to Shaw. Decides to just release the pressure, kicks it long, and a nice kick in the end. Finds Dennis Lane, takes a good mark. Off to the impressive youngster Johnson. One-step kick is good. Bolton leads up and takes the mark on the wing. He's got players running forward. One of those is Jack. It bounces up for him. The left footer tight on the boundary. Long toward Lewis Jenner. He's got it. He's got it on the chest. Right in front of goal. And that was wonderful play from the Swans.
Yeah, great build-up and very good run from Kieran Jack to get that space and then to hit the top of the goal square. Again, Jetto was the one that ran in some real good space to get to the top of the goal. But fantastic kick from Jack.
Well, the umpire hasn't been kind here.
No, he hasn't.
On a tight angle. Lewis Jetta, has he got the tools? Well, we all know he has. 37 goals. Make that 38 for Lewis Jetta.
Yeah, spot on. I think the umpire did the wrong thing. There's the kick to the top of the goal square. And Jessels had enough penetration to get over the top of Luke Russell. And here's Jetta, just a lot of confidence, took a bit of time and just slotted it probably under the arms of the man on the mark in Russell, and comes off for the customary spell on the bench. But he's been a fantastic player. If you're picking your All-Australian team, just whack him on the wing or half forward, but he's in the side.
What a season he's had, as we see him take a rest. Part of that 2009 crop, boys, you spoke about earlier, really forming the core of this Swans outfit.
Yeah, the other man on the bench there, Sam Reid, was in that draft as well as another man on the injury list, Gary Rowan.
They move the ball out of the centre. Chance for Warnock. Didn't quite gather cleanly, so McVeigh does so. Partially smothered. Goods met it solidly. Harbrow in there. Chance for McKenzie. Again kicking hurriedly. Hunt could have been held on to. A chance just to slow things down for the Suns. Lays it off to the nuggety Prestia. Lays it off to his former Calder Cannons teammate Hine. Mucking around with it a little bit, the Gold Coast Suns. Shaw was clipped high. Will take the free kick.
They are mucking around a little bit. Zach Smith standing in the middle of the ground at the moment. He needs to push forward on at those opportunities to create that long target, that long outlet for Gold Coast.
Alex Johnson with the quick hands. Shaw at left half back. Has to be pinpoint. Good contest there between Weller and McGlynn. He's also seen out of play.
Ted Richards contest on... yeah, certainly. I think he might have clipped him a little bit high, so Shaw was unlucky not to get the free kick.
Well, they've certainly had their opportunities going forward so far, the Suns, but at the moment it's the Swans. Fend off there by McGlynn. Another kick out in front of a teammate with space. Lewis Roberts-Thompson, he's got one. Here's a one-on-one forward for him. Adam Goods, V. Stanley Goods, just trying to gather it in. Oh, don't tell me he's done something special, not quite.
He's got to love that, Adam Goods, the space. He had the whole 50 to himself. He has on twice so far tonight, being able to run back one-on-one with his direct opponent and nearly pulled some magic out of the kit bag on that occasion.
How do you think Danny Stanley was feeling at that time?
Does the matchup surprise you, boys?
That's a little one, but I suppose he's pushing up into the midfield, so they want Stanley to go with him up through the midfield. But when Adam Goods takes him to full forward, they're not that well equipped to actually have someone on him anyway, who's going to be bigger and more capable than Danny Stanley. So I think they're just thinking Stanley will go with him across the ground.
Ball might head in that direction now. Goods up. Can't complete the mark. Ricochet's clear. Chance for the Swans to raffle it. Well played by the Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah, good attack on the ball. I think it was Hine.
It was Hine. He's a courageous type. Gets it off. Here's Matera. Haven't seen much of him early. Deft little kick over the top to Hunt, who wastes no time. Well-weighted kick. Finds Lynch on the long lead.
That was really good use. And just put the ball out in front of Lynch.
This is a better build-up by the Gold Coast. Brennan marks strongly. Laid it off to Ablett. Brennan just drew the opponents back to Ablett. Didn't have much ahead. Bolton getting the hand in there, affecting the smother out of bounds.
Yeah. Here's the sub, and that's not great news, certainly from Sam Reid. We're not sure of the extent of the injury, but they think it's significant enough to that right knee that he's going to have the rest of the game off. So I'm sure Lee Colbert will be all over that one for a report at half-time.
So an early substitution has been made in this game. Bird is on, Reid off. It was a right knee they were looking at on the boundary line.
And it's worth informing everyone that he did get up and jog around. Now, that doesn't rule out serious damage, but he certainly didn't seem in a lot of pain afterwards. But, yeah, it'll be very interesting, the assessment over the next 5 minutes to start with, but certainly the next 24 hours.
Well, we just saw the substituted player, Bird, onto the field. Long kick down the line there from a player in very good form at the moment. Kieran Jack is spalled out and over, so a boundary throw with the Swans leading by 13 points.
And there could be certainly a no-risk policy there from John Longmire with his up-and-coming young star, centre-half forward Sam Reid. But he'd have a few headaches. He'd be really concerned about the injury report to Sam Reid, and obviously he's got a bit of feedback to hand over the red vest.
Well, here is Bird, handball deep into the forward line. Bolton to Goods, releases. Don't tell me, LRT for number 2.
How good were the hands of Jude Bolton on that occasion? You'll see it, the play unfold here. Gold Coast nearly with an intercept mark, but it's this pick up here in traffic, one take. Adam Goods received the handball, and LRT able to run it open the goal square. Didn't make a mess of this one like he did earlier in the quarter. Goes through and kicks his second goal. And he'll have hope to spend more time forward now with Reid off the ground.
So 3 in a row to the Sydney Swans has given them a nice little buffer approaching quarter time. Ball back in the centre. Pike, good tap down to O'Keefe. Just squeezed it out to Jack. Inside 50, Goods up. Didn't bring it down. Bolton at the full. Shouldn't miss this and doesn't.
Yeah, nice goal for the Sydney Swans, but the concern is Luke Russell has gone down in this contest. He's backed into the pack, and I think he's got a left knee from Adam Goods right into the middle of the lower back. So that is going to hurt, but good courage from the youngster to go back with a fly of the ball. Bluey McKenna will be very happy with that one, but here's the polish of the Sydney Swans to finish off their good work with some nice conversion. So good goal to Jude Bolton and a valuable one to the Swans.
So the second goal there to Jude Bolton, the veteran of the Sydney Swans, as we see young Luke Russell coming from the field. Wonderful courage going back to no avail. Back into the centre. Gee, Gold Coast, they want to get a wriggle on. Their first 5 minutes of this game, very competitive. But unfortunately, the Swans taken total control. Quick kick here, forward. Johnson in the way for the Swans. Picks up the ball and decides to go for a gallop. Throws it on the right boot. Long and high, deep in the forward line. Warnock got back there. Dennis Lane was there. Good pressure. Bolton, here's Harbrow. Just threw it on the boot quickly. Coming through Jetta, dangerous. Ball bouncing, Ablett in pursuit. Which way does he go? Good pressure there by Ablett.
He's got a free kick though. I think there was a bit of a stumble from Lewis Jetta, and Ablett got into his back.
Well, he's so dangerous, he's Jetta, and he shows on that occasion his skill as well. He spears the ball inside 50 and sliding in. Jude Bolton 2 already, Jono, looking for number 3.
He is. He's had 8 disposals, going at 100%, so he started the game very... It was the difference last week in the last quarter against the Saints, where he was able to kick a couple of goals and be very effective as well.
Game number 296 for Jude Bolton, and kick is on its way, and it just misses to the left-hand side, hits the woodwork. One behind.
Yeah, didn't get a lot of that one, the champ from the Sydney Swans, but they've been really good forward. Didn't certainly make the most of their opportunities in the first 5 minutes.
Just starting to gain momentum, the Swans. Here's Jetta again. Off to Jack. 49 metres out. Tugs it right, but squeezes it home. Swans on a roll.
Well, Kieran Jack, I mean, he's another one of these players. We talk about the Sydney Swans' re-emergence as a real quality side, and a lot of it's come about because of the likes of Kieran Jack. Certainly Lewis Jetta, who was involved again, very good. But Jack's ability to get on the outside and finish off his really good hard work with that sort of finish is why it's taken him to another level, and certainly he's taken the Swans to another level, and he's a quality player and certainly got off to a good start again.
So a goal to Kieran Jack sees the margin extended out to 32 points in a matter of moments.
Yeah, well, Jack's had the 11 disposals and that nice little goal.
Tap out by Smith. Kennedy in the way. Ablett pressuring. Umpire says didn't dispose of the ball correctly. And the free kick will go back to Gary Ablett. Deep in this opening term here at Metricon Stadium. Signs not looking good at the moment for a first win here for the Gold Coast Suns. Here's Harbrow. Maybe a late opportunity for the Suns. Swallow, long kick. Smith, the big ruckman floated down. Good pair of hands. Not far from the goal face. He can go back and pop through number 2.
Well, you've done that one yourself, Tomo, over the years. He used his body extremely well just to nudge Mike Pike under the ball. So all this preparation work was really done in the 2 or 3 metres in the lead up to taking the mark, which was great. In the end, it was all but an uncontested mark, but that's where you want to take them, 15 metres out dead in front.
Well, you've got to love the confidence of the big man. Won the hit out, ran forward, shoved his opponent out the way. They desperately need it. Zach Smith on the siren, goes back, goes bang, pops it right through the middle for the second goal for the Suns.
Is because that's been the last 2 weeks where he's actually started to find his form in this season. Started slowly. Everyone was talking about Sam Reid being that player that everyone's going to talk about this year. Started slowly, found form the last 2 to 3 weeks. So it's important that for the Sydney Swans that it's positive news coming out of their camp with that injury to Sam Reid.
Suns with some work to do. It's the Swans by 26 points as we restart in this second term. Heard the umpire, that ball touched. Here's McKenzie, tried to trap it, didn't do so. The Swans now, Jack rode that bump well. O'Keefe, dicey handball. Hine lost his footing. Big Zach Smith bent down, tried to pick it up, so too Roberts Thompson. And the ball's all tied up.
Certainly the Suns need to get off to another good start. They had the good start in the first quarter, but they finished on a high with the Zach Smith goal. They just need to get the ball in the hand. Bit of better use than they did for the majority of the first term.
Prestia tumbles it to centre half forward. Richards again in front. You made mention of it earlier, Jono. The Suns perhaps after that turnover. Lynch out to Hine. Inside 50. Didn't hit Matera. Tried to shrug that Johnson tackle unsuccessfully. And holding the ball, says the umpire.
I just put the ball on the ground and went over the boundary line with it. That's why he was paid holding the ball or incorrect disposal.
A little bit unlucky there, Matera. Sydney Swans, McGlynn gets it off to Jetta. His handball okay, and now the Swans move it down the outer side here at Metricon Stadium. Last time these two sides met here, it was Sydney by 70 points.
That's a really good mark from Mike Pike. We've seen more of that this season.
Well, he's growing in confidence. Pike, long inside 50, O'Keefe. Best position, dropped the beans. He really should have taken that one. Tried to get back on hands and knees. Warnock in for the Gold Coast Suns to mop things up. Umpire will call for the football. Wasted opportunity there.
It was probably like the Zach Smith one. He did all the work early. And there's Nick Malcheski. We had that injury concern in the first term, so he started on the interchange bench, just trying to keep warm before returning.
Mike Pike taps it down again.
Oh, that's
good.
heavy.
Strong through with the hip and shoulder ball at the back of the pack. Bennell is there. Here's Bolton again for number 3. Jude Bolton around the corner. It's just edged the post, the inside there. So Jude Bolton with 2 goals and 2 near misses.
Well, Mackenzie was hit hard by Adam Goods. Right there. There's a big hit. Mackenzie straight to his feet, though, and won the next possession, which was very important.
So Warnock with the football. Goes long, up that outer side. Big pack flies. Pike lost it. Brown wrapped up. Ball spilt free. Brown sitting on top of it. Will be asked to try and knock it out. The ball's going nowhere. Umpire finally on the scene to break it up.
Well, Campbell Brown was in the game early, set up Gary Ablett's first shot at goal, finished with the 4 disposals for the first quarter.
O'Keefe, clever handball out the back to Kennedy. The usual suspects sharing it. Here's McGlynn. Tried to run his full measure. Now Hanbury round the corner. Kick well weighted. Perhaps fortuitous. Found Bolton, who swings it round the corner and adds to his already building tally.
Well, he's had plenty of the ball, Jude Bolton, but a lot of it has been in that deep forward line. With this nice little bit of work that he found a little bit of space out wide, and just the way he executed the kick here. It was on the boundary line and just snuck around beautifully. And he's thinking, I'm in for a big day here. 3 goals, 13 touches, and he's, as you said earlier, operating at a very efficient rate.
He is giving the Gold Coast Suns a football lesson at the moment, in particular Trent Mackenzie.
Sydney Swans by 33 points early stages of the second term, and it's Jude Bolton, the old diamond, the veteran, with 3 goals, and young Trent Mackenzie getting a bit of a lesson so far, Jono.
Yeah, he is just with work rate, Lynchy. That's the key. Jude Bolton just loves getting up and down the ground, and he'll run his opponent into the ground.
Yep.
Well, chance for an answer back here. Ablett, long. Brennan ran under it. Swallow, quick hands, Matera. Quick kick forward. Smith lost his footing. Numbers back now for the Swans, O'Keefe. Grundy. Kick wasn't great by Grundy. That was a real toe poker. And taking the mark there, Russell. Back on the ground after that heavy hit to Ablett. Shows the candy, Gary. Long kick inside 50.
Downfield.
It's going to be downfield.
Yeah, Gary Ablett was just knocked straight after he kicked the ball. See here the kick, and McGlynn just takes him down. Not a lot in it, but probably Gary made the most of it. But it is free kick to, looks like Big Tom Lynch at the top of the goal square.
It is. Big Tom Lynch.
He's going on the left. We've seen this before.
4 goals, 7. So a few kicking issues this year. This time, no problems. On the left boot, gets his first goal of the evening.
Well, Gary Ablett with a very good step at 50, had the shot at goal, and then was fouled after the kick. So therefore, it was downfield. Ben McGlynn, you could see his disappointment there, coming in late and just bringing Gary Ablett to ground. That's why the umpire calls the free kick downfield. And I like the setup of Lynch. Stevie Johnson-like. Nice setup, good hook, easy conversion.
Well, Tom Lynch, drafted with pick 11 in 2010. He was actually one of those players in his under-18 year, had a growth spurt, boys, so perhaps just getting used to his long limbs and finally making a mark for the Gold Coast Suns. Bird, hands were too hot for O'Keefe. Jack in there, so too a number of Suns. Ball in dispute at present. Umpire's going to pay a free kick. It was a holding infringement. It's going the Swans' way to Jack. He wastes no time. Kicks out into the path of Dennis Lane, who'll have plenty of time to gather. Or will he? He made an absolute mess of that. Shaw on the scene was then caught high. Another golden opportunity squandered there, Lynchy.
Yeah, he did. He had plenty of time. He needed a little bit more time, actually. Just, again, I don't think it's exactly slippery conditions down there. It's nearly a perfect night for football, but just probably a little bit of nerves coming back into the side tonight.
Shaw's kick initially wasn't great, but in the end it works out. Lynch, the goal kicker, wins the free kick. This is Harbrow. Bringing the ball through Caddy, centre half back. They've got a player on the middle, but the handball wasn't great. Weller takes the tackle, loses the football now. Hanbury, Bolton releases Kennedy. Decides to go back. This is Bird. Kicks it long. Good's in good position. Great ball there from May. Gives Ablett the chance to clean up the mess. Going through Stanley under pressure. Can the Suns get themselves out of this one? Weller, quick kick, Swallow. Just missed the bouncing ball in the centre. Here's Richards. So the handball and skills haven't been great. Matera taken high, and he'll win himself the free kick in the centre of Metricon Stadium.
And Suns running forward. Swallows free.
He can bring it out to the members' side, commentary side. Warnock to Gary Ablett. Just shows a bit of speed. He's got Smith on long, the big man at the back. One grab. Should have been a free kick. It is. He goes off the ground with arrogance, and he pops it through for number 2.
A really good build-up from the Suns to find the extra player out wide. But then Zach Smith actually called the ball long. He just waved the arms to Gary Ablett and said, get it long as far as you can. And although he fumbled the mark, he got the free kick. So really good job from Gary Ablett, but also Zach Smith to identify where the dangerous space was and know the superstar had the capabilities of getting it there. So good work from the big ruckman and certainly from the Gold Coast Suns.
So the Swans by 21. And for the Suns, boys, just that presence inside forward 50 really proving valuable.
Yeah, certainly. Just that most occasions they don't have the bailout kick. Certainly Dixon's provided that today, and obviously in the last 10 minutes of play, Zach Smith's been there as well.
Kennedy, floating ball, well read. It was Hine who stood tall, took the mark at centre half back, and sees Hunt, uses him. Just has to wait one to Dixon, who marks uncontested. Got some space in front of him.
Again, not confident to go to the bailout kick 50 metres away.
Does so now. Lynch tried to use his opponent as a step ladder. Zach Smith, his handball missed. Matera, who could have been nudged. Richards in there. Brennan got it out to Hunt. Swans working really hard to try and clear the danger zone. In the end, Johnson with a cool head found Kennedy, and they can release through Malcheski.
They do. Malcheski, long kick is good to McVeigh, wants 50 metres. Umpire says no.
Yeah, good common sense call from the umpire, I think, on that occasion. I think McVeigh was pretty quick to release the hands off that ball.
So the co-captain McVeigh sends the ball in short. Here's Ben McGlynn. Another one of those wonderful traded players that the Swans have found.
The class of 2009.
Interesting, the 2 trades for Ben McGlynn end up being a couple of pretty handy players for the Hawks, Stratton and an upgraded Matthew Suckling.
Well, that's where it's a win-win for both clubs, and they both can move on very happy with their trades.
Well, both those boys playing very well for the Hawks, of course, on Friday night. Boundary throw-in. There's Smith, got the 2 goals already this evening. Prestia under pressure. Umpire not happy with his effort to get the ball out, and that's a free kick for holding the ball.
Well, it did look like he had one opportunity to release. Ball got dragged in with a good tackle from Bolton. Turnover.
Malcheski, long, Goods, one grab, couldn't take the mark, still dangerous. Here's Goods, decides to centre it. That is clever, knew the players was there, and Dennis Lane is the recipient, takes the easy chest mark.
And the dual Brownlow medalist had every right to have a snapshot there, and he probably would have made a fair fist of it as well. But doing the team thing, identified that there was 2 Swans players at the top of the goal square and dragged the ball back.
Trent Dennis Lane with the football. Swans leading by 21 points. It's been a good few minutes for the Gold Coast Suns. Would like this in return. Dennis Lane steers it in low, steers it in nicely, straight through the middle. Umpire didn't have to move far.
Well, the Swans out to a 27-point lead again after this goal from Dennis Lane. There's the holding the ball first. That's the one. Jude Bolton, Prestia slung around 360 degrees. Free kick was given for holding the ball. And then Adam Goods. That's just knowing where your teammates are. And team discipline, centering the ball. And Dennis Lane, being a smart forward, put his man into the right spot, led into the open space and took an uncontested mark.
Trent Dennis Lane capping off that fantastic creative play of Adam Goods. Back into the side tonight. We'll hope to seize his opportunity. Bounce favoured Pike. Matera improvising slightly.
Well, there's a drop kick.
Did well to Shaw. Now Ablett can close to 51. Arm wrestle on the goal line. Ball punched away there. In the end, quite well by Richards, out of play.
Disappointed, Gary Ablett.
Yeah, well, he was.
Running through 50.
It was either he had to kick the goal or the ball had to be 5 metres shorter. But I think he backed himself, and quite rightly, to kick the goal from 50, as he normally does.
Chance for the Suns. Pike front position. Dixon showed great mobility, wrapped up by Parker. Umpire lets play go for a fair while before deciding to bounce.
Charlie Dixon not overly happy with that decision. Felt he may have got a push in the back.
Just tugged the arm there of Pike and gave away the free kick. Dixon getting a chance at both ends of the ground in recent weeks, even in the middle as well. There's Melcheski raking left foot ball. Brennan takes the mark and send it back inside forward 50. Does so now. Space opens up. Here's the man we spoke about, Dixon. Can't complete the mark. Grundy, the errant handball, missed Smith. Ball out of play for a throw-in.
Sydney aren't breaking as hard as they normally do. Once they get a stop play or a mark in defensive 50, the midfielders that push back normally go and go hard. They just don't seem to be running out of defence as hard as what they have over the last couple of weeks.
Couple of goals apiece here to the Suns and Swans. Second quarter, Hine just coughs the ball up under pressure. Hanbury, Jetta, creative. Here's Kennedy. Not much to go up forward. In the end, they lose the football. Picking it up, big Zach Smith. Ball ends up here with Matera. Off to Warnock. Warnock's got a player on out wide, and it's Bennell. Bennell decides to play on. Decisive, kicks it long. Pike there, 3 Swans up. It's going to work out with Jetta. Gets it off to Hanbury. Now to a running Melcheski on that left boot. Just slices his way through with a lovely kick and finds Bird. Bird's kick isn't quite as good, and they're going to have a turnover here. So ball just moving up and back on that outer wing. Brown in the open. What can he do? The ex-Hawk decides to just pop it up nice and high to the 40. Dixon to fly. Big Dixon goes up and takes a great mark in front of goal.
Well, the big fella took a really good mark, and Campbell Brown found himself in a lot of space. Once again, great identification from Gary Ablett to see Campbell Brown, then to get the ball to him. And Campbell Brown could have attacked the 50 and probably taken a shot himself, but decided to put it to 40 metres out dead in front to his big centre-half forward.
Well, that's what the team and Guy McKenna would want to see. Big contested marks from the big man. Can he make the most of the opportunity? No, he can't. A disappointing miss to the right-hand side there for Dixon. Gold Coast move a little bit further on, but still trail the Swans by 26 points.
Well, it could be a lot closer as well if they just had a bit more polish inside 50 and converted those opportunities. Inside 50s at 19-20 in favour of the Swans.
They've worked their way up to the wing. Goods, look at him go. Can take a bounce. That one didn't sit for him. He was caught in 2 minds. Parker was swamped by a couple of Suns holding the ball. They worked their way back into that, the Suns.
They did very well, pushing back with some genuine speed. Carmichael Hunt was another play to get back and try and put some pressure on. Adam Goods was out here. The fumble on the bounce, that's what caused the turnover there. Gold Coast able to close up. 3 tacklers go to the 1. Good pressure.
John Longmire asking some questions at present.
I think the voice was getting a little higher in its volume with each word asked.
26-point lead, but perhaps not the execution we've become accustomed to as Brennan copped a nudge. He'll pick himself up, take a free kick. What have you made of his season so far, boys?
It's pretty much Jared Brennan. I mean, we've seen some great highlights, and you'd cut his highlight package up beautifully. It's good to see him actually go down and play across centre half forward and be a real target at times. Certainly down back at the moment, but I like to see him across centre half forward.
Well, explained in the end, Lynchy, so basically up and down. As the ball finds its way to Shaw, to Ablett. Spotted Hine out of the corner of his eye. Ball slewed off the side of his boot, though. So Hine tries to go round his body. Ball didn't sit for Caddy, out of play.
But that's where Gold Coast have the opportunity to get the ball in long and deep. They've got Zach Smith standing in the goal square. Gary Ablett get the ball in long and deep instead of chipping it out wide to a wing.
It's a boundary throw in. Big Smith. Here's Carmichael Hunt taking the football backwards. So just retreating for the moment. Ablett. Here's Russell. Copped a heavy hit late in that first term. Tuella trying to work their way forward of the wing. Ablett once again sidestep. Handball over the top. In heavy traffic. Here's Russell again. Look out. Stanley gone. Can the Swans make them pay? Bolton to Jack. His kick is okay. 1-on-1 at centre half forward. Lewis Roberts-Thompson tried to tap it to his own advantage. Harbrow put the head down. He's going to get a free kick.
Yeah, well done. It was really good to see Harbrow just push back as an experienced player and put his head over the ball and draw the free kick.
Campbell Brown's out on the wing here, all by himself.
Well, he was about to run off the interchange bench there. Decides to halt. He's going to get himself a possession.
Could smell a stat, so stayed on.
Decides to go long with the kick. Brennan doesn't fly. He ends up getting it. Handball can go backwards. Bennell now takes a run. Goes for a gallop. Kicks it long. Lynch in good position. Couldn't take the mark. Got it out the back again. Matera around the corner. He's got it.
Well, that's what they say they really need, and that's what, as you described, Jono, before, if you can get the ball in quick but have a genuine contest at the top of the goal square, it gives you a really good chance. We know the Swans are so good at getting numbers back, but on this occasion, Lynch made the contest, had the second effort, and we know Brandon Materia's got that class in the forward half where he can snap those goals. So that was really good build-up from the Suns, and a bit of reward for effort, which keeps them mentally in the game as well as on the scoreboard.
And the other thing too, Lynchy, Matera goes to the front of the contest. His direct opponent Smith went to the back of the contest expecting Grundy to mark the ball for a release. Goal to Matera.
Yeah, you can't roll the dice that close to goal.
As we see Guy McKenna boundary side with his skipper. Perhaps discussing a way to continue this surge. Ball now on this broadcast side. Chance for Jetta. Doesn't he love to run? Tucks it under his arm, then uses it really well to Parker, who can play on, go for home, and he'll miss away to the left-hand side.
Danny Stanley happy to get the ball over the line. They've got a couple of numbers on the far side if he just couldn't get that first quick kick away, and they might have had a chance to get the ball right up to the other end of the ground, but missed the first opportunity.
Decided to slow it down. Kick wasn't great, but in the end, he does get the football to Stephen May. Backward to where it once started. That kick's a better one. Warnock leads up and takes the mark in the back pocket. Well, the umpire called him play on there. He was out of bounds. Got away with it. Kicks it long. Dixon. Another strong grab. So the big man just getting the hands working here at Metricon Stadium, looking for Swallow. Swallow couldn't quite take the mark. Pressure from Smith was very good. Ball just trickles its way out of bounds.
And that's what you need from your big forwards. Jump at the contest. There's some really good signs in this quarter for the Suns, and they've got worked their way back into this game after being down by 32 points late in the first quarter.
Prestia picks the football up, tries to cut his way through, got the handball away under pressure from Hanbury. The umpire says, no problem there, you can throw the football back into play. 53 playing 32, 21-point lead to the Swans. Second term, here's Ablett. Just eludes his opponent O'Keefe. Left foot kick, high up and under, getting back. This man is wonderful at the third end mark. Ted Richards takes a strong get grab. Last line of defence for the Swans.
Well, he would have been a little bit nervous there, Richards, because the last time a high ball came in, Dixon was able to take a good, strong mark over the top, so he would have been feeling the pressure from behind. Great courage to stand under it and take a good mark.
Grundy went long looking for Pike, who copped the nudge. The players coming in, not looking at the football. So the big Canadian lays it off to McVeigh. He can kick to centre half forward where space opens up for Goods. He'll back himself. He'll run to 45 and he'll miss away to the right-hand side.
But as we just saw, he's starting to get a few more metres on Stanley throughout as this game unfolds, as this half unfolds. So second half, look for Adam Goods to really try and get on the scoreboard.
Suns content just to work it out of defence. McKenzie over the top to May. Didn't have much present for him, but uses it well to Caddy, who spoiled that bit of play. Disappointed with himself as well.
Here's the drop mark. Just had plenty of time, and just probably thinking a little bit much about what he was going to do with it.
Just the 7 disposals so far for Caddy. McKenzie to Ablett, under pressure, half-back flank. Stanley got it away, copped a heavy knock, did quite well. Here's Warnock, kicks it out to a one-on-one. Luke Russell there, held his feet well under pressure. Malcheski went again, second effort, good tackle. Umpire says good tackle, but no free kick, I'll bounce it.
And here's Gary Ablett, just in that contest. Plenty of bodies around the contest, but just shrugged the tackle, but still executed the handball well. And there's Luke Russell, as you said, initially held his feet and probably got the benefit of the doubt from the umpire, no prior opportunity.
Gary Ablett once again, like so many of the great players in this AFL competition, so strong through the core. That time draws himself a free kick.
He's well and truly
24.
on. He may raise the bat again here with a 50. Certainly a bit of time to go in the second term, and well on his way to the halfway mark of 25.
The big question's got to be, how many Brownlow medal votes does this man draw while playing for the Gold Coast Suns? He's had an amazing season once again.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting viewing at the end of the season to see how he is rewarded for these dominant games.
Another man who's in that Brownlow contention, Kennedy, not so sure with the hands that time. Kick forward from Smith. Goods underneath. Dennis Lane there. Good pressure, though, from the Suns. They get back in numbers. Goods back in. Here's Stanley. Just stripped him of the ball. Spills out to the side. Harbrow under pressure. Coughs it up. O'Keefe looking for his teammate there in Parker. First game back from playing in the NAFL. Good tackle there. Russell. Ball just spills free. O'Keefe first man to the football. Just outside forward 50. Here's the running Kieran Jack. Chip over the top. He's good. He made Lewis Roberts-Thompson dive for it. The big man couldn't quite get down that far. We'll have a boundary throw in half forward flank.
Umpire gets knocked over here, and he got really knocked down pretty hard. I think it was the Suns player that...
Yeah, Trent McKenzie went down as well.
Yeah, and it was the slow one getting up too. I think the umpire bounced up quite nicely.
Swans a chance. Malcheski tried to get ball to boot. Ablett another touch. We heard Colby earlier talk about 14 of 15 possible Brownlow votes against the Swans. We'll see how he goes as O'Keefe unloads a high ball inside 50. Brown didn't want to take the mark. McKenzie couldn't gather, ball out of play.
Well, if you think about that matchup, Gary Ablett and Kieran Jack, I mean, Kieran Jack's had 17 disposals and Gary Ablett's now had 25, and they are starting next to each other, but I think they pretty much go their separate ways from now.
Speak of the devil, here is Jack. Goods from the back, couldn't take the mark. Ball still inside the danger zone for the Gold Coast Suns. Good contest. Ball eventually cleared. Lynch showed great mobility, gathered. Just fed the handball to Dixon. May open up in front of him. Kicks to the advantage of Shaw. Will have to gather. Might just paddle in front of himself. Well harassed out of that by Nick Smith. He's so unheralded. Uses it well to Kennedy, and the Swans will build.
Yeah, they've got numbers on the rebound here.
Kennedy with time, uses the ball well to Hanbury, wheels to that left boot, kicks it long. Goods, good position, but McKenzie got back. He did well, good support, good spoil. Ball goes out of play. We'll have a boundary throwing, left forward pocket.
Have a look at this tackle on Luke Russell there, and that holding of the left arm. It's not quite what we saw with Chris Judd, but certainly he's topical at the moment.
Well, he did have hold of the arm, but it didn't. He didn't seem to be purposely just reefing it back that far.
No, I think he's right here. The tackle is just a tackle. He's grabbed his wrist in the tackle, and just the way it finished up.
Deep in the Swans forward line. Gold Coast have had a good second quarter so far. Little hands up were good to Mackenzie. Carmichael Hunt decides to just get that ball out of town. He kicks it long, but the only man home is a Swan, and it's Marty Matner. Decides to switch play to the commentary side to Reece Shaw. He's given the Swans much run over the past few seasons off that half-back flank. To another one of their star players in McVeigh. He gets Bird coming off the interchange bench, and Bird takes the mark. Wants a lead up from his forward line, so here he goes. Bird with a long 50-metre kick. Going up there was Russell, couldn't take the mark. Good strong work from May. Hands in tight were great from Kennedy. Got it off to Goods. Kick was smothered. Parker under pressure. Gets it back. The hand pass from Kennedy wasn't great. Here's Bird. His kick is a sloppy one. Inside 50 or deep in 50. Warnock just lost it. There's Bolton. Oh, he was ran over by a truck. O'Keefe quickly out of the pack. His snap was on target for a long way, but just faded off to the right-hand side for one behind.
You see there, Warnock, the release was there earlier. He tried to take the forwards on for the Swans, get the ball and release out of that defensive and make it easy for yourself and your teammates.
Mackenzie over the top to Matera. He uses his body well and can run.
Needs to keep going.
Loves to do so as well. Kicks wanting Lynch. And the umpire said he pushed out Grundy illegally.
Yeah, well, I think Brandon Matera needed to run that extra 10 metres that he had to be able to carry the ball over the Swans defender and get it to Lynch.
O'Keefe. Short to Smith. Swans might be happy to wind the clock down to half-time. Johnson. His partner in crime, Richards. Lope along, take a bounce. Drive it down the line. Not a great kick, out of bounds on the full.
No, we don't see the experienced players like Ted Richards make mistakes like that too often.
And that'll be all she wrote in this first half. Competitive first half by the Gold Coast Suns.